I was gonna go to the park, which is literally like a block away from where I am, but I just came across this very gangsta place, very quiet place, and in Spanish it's called Casa Árabe. I'm pretty sure in English it's called the Arab house, right? This is what it looks like. Wow, bam! It's got this very beautiful clock tower. It's got that beautiful statue. Let's get a closer look at the statue. Bitty 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 boom. Right? Oh, now A.D. Lucas Aguirre, I don't know, el Ayuntamiento de Madrid, right? And we can appreciate. Can we step here? I'm not sure, but as we can appreciate there, I'm not sure if you guys can read the font, but it says Casa Árabe, Instituto Internacional de Estudios Árabes y del Mundo Musulmán. So it's the Arab house. Oh, let me show you guys the back view and where I'm gonna probably be sitting down. That's the sun right there. That's the entrance to the park right over there. And yeah, it's a very quiet place to, you know, film and talk about what I want to talk. So give me a second. I'm going to take off my sweater real quick. Let me put the tripod, bruh. Right? Boom. Yeah, let's put it like that, because I'm going to put it here. Because we're gonna be talking about One Piece, and it just so happens to be that I got the big Luffy shirt. Damn. Anyways, how we be, how it is. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope you're in your happy and safe place. And that being said, let's talk about the topic of today's video. Why does One Piece cater to people who are lonely? And this is just a theory of mine, all right? It doesn't have to be an absolute. But I certainly do think that One Piece caters to a lonely person. Or a lonely person can have more fun and, you know, find more meaning and maybe find more refuge in One Piece than in an anime, let's say like Naruto, for example, right? And how do we start this off? Well, in One Piece you have pirate crews, right? Which, by definition of a crew, I guess you could say it's two or more people that work together to achieve a common goal, right? So at the start of Luffy's adventure, he goes to the sea solo, right? And then he recruits Zoro, then he recruits Nami, or he recruits Usopp, then he recruits Sanji, and blah blah blah. By the time after the time skip, and by the time of Wano, you have Jinbei, you have Frankie, you have Brook, you have Robin, you have Chopper, you have Zoro, you have Nami, you have Usopp, you have Luffy, you have Sanji, and you have Brook. Right? I might be missing one, or I might be adding another. But all, in total, there are about 10 people in the crew. And not even counting the other friends that they've met that could have potentially joined the crew. Like, let's say, Nefertari Vivi and Yamato, or Carrot, or somebody even like Smoker, you know? Anyways, so One Piece and Luffy's story, you know, you get to see Luffy and company go to many adventures in the hopes of Luffy becoming the king of the pirates and finding the treasure of all treasures, which is the One Piece, right? So you don't have something like this, you know, happening in anime, in other anime, right? Like, let's say in Naruto, you do have things like teams, right? That teams that consist of like a leader who is particularly high rank in the like ninja ranks, and then you have 3 plebs who, you know, make up the team along with the leader. So there's like 4 people in a team. In a special occasion when they were hunting down Akatsuki, there were like teams of 9, but it's a very sporadic case. It's not like a forever thing in the case of One Piece, right? So also in One Piece, right? Well, not in One Piece, in every anime, I think you have the tendency as a person to relate to one character more than the other. Like, let's say, hypothetically, that I am a swordsman, right? And I also get frequently lost, and I don't have a very good sense of geography or directions. And when I look at a character like Zoro, I'm like, hey man, that's the guy I am in the crew. Or that's the guy I can relate to the most, right? So when you're watching One Piece and you're watching Zoro, you're also him at the same time. Am I insane? Because when I watch One Piece, and every time I'm seeing Luffy, since I have the main character syndrome, I believe I'm Luffy, right? Or every time I'm seeing Luffy on screen or on the manga, I'm him. Maybe you're a navigator, and maybe you're a cartographer, and maybe you like drawing. So when you watch Nami, for example, that's a character you relate to the most, and you identify and empathize with Nami. So you can be pretty much any character in the crew, and you're always going to be surrounded by people who are always going to be there for you, who are at the same time fulfilling different roles. Does this happen in any other anime? In any other shonen, right? Where you have this group, this very big group of friends, you could argue a family, traversing the world from island to island or from country to country, trying to fulfill each other's dreams. Because mind you, everybody in the crew has an individual ambition, right? Zoro wants to be the best swordsman. Chopper wants to be the best doctor. Nami wants to draw a map of the sea. Usopp wants to be a brave warrior of the sea. And so on, so on. Sanji wants to find the all blue. So everybody has different dreams, and collectively, you're also working towards the dream or ambition of the captain of the crew, right? This kind of thing doesn't happen in any other anime. Or if it does, you know, let me know in the comments down below. Gotta plug in the comments, gotta plug in the tube. But like I was referring Naruto, you have, maybe in Naruto you have teams, but Naruto is always mostly by himself. Or not by himself, but he's working towards his goal, right? He's working towards becoming the Hokage pretty much alone, even though there are people who help him achieve this dream, right? This doesn't happen in like My Hero Academia. This doesn't happen in Bleach. This doesn't happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! This doesn't happen in Pokemon. So, oh, and not only that, my guys, it's not only one pirate crew that you're kind of following around. There are many. Let's say you don't relate to Luffy or anybody in Luffy's crew, then you might relate to Blackbeard or somebody in Blackbeard's crew. And if it doesn't work like that, then you might relate to Shanks and somebody in Shanks's crew. Maybe Yasopp, or maybe the other plebs, maybe the fat guy who's always eating. And if it doesn't work out like that, maybe you relate to somebody in the Beast Pirates, or maybe in the Big Mom Pirates, or maybe in the Kid Pirates, or maybe in the Law Pirates. So there is a lot to pick from in the One Piece universe as to what crew would you relate to the most, and what individual member of the crew would you relate to the most. But since you're mostly, you know, going through this adventure through the eyes of Luffy and his friends and his Nakama, you know, I think you'd find yourself relating to one character in Luffy's crew more than the other, because sadly, not like only the Straw Hats have more screen time than, let's say, any other crew or any other character. But you could sympathize with like Blackbeard or anybody of his crewmates. Maybe somebody like Kizaru. Is it Kizaru? No, it's Aokiji, the guy, the admiral who defected from the Marines, and now he's actually a Blackbeard crew member. Insane, by the way. So this doesn't happen, I think, in any other anime or in any other manga, in any other story. And I think you can find a lot of refuge. And if you're kind of a lonely person like me, and that's not something bad, I actually spend a lot of time by myself, and I quite enjoy the time that I spend by myself, because I'm working for the sake of my dreams, becoming the #1 YouTuber, or I'm exercising, or I'm reading, I'm studying. When I spend time with friends, it's always nice, or when I spend time with family, it's always nice. But the more I get older, it's like the more I like to spend more time with myself. And I'm not saying I want to be alone, or I want to be lonely forever and ever and ever. But when there used to be a sad period of my life, and I relied heavily on anime to get me by, I can remember feeling accompanied by a group of fictional strangers that go by the name of the Strawhats. And I spent a lot of time alone in my room, you know, as a normal depressed person would. But I would watch One Piece, and I would watch Luffy's adventures, and Zoro's adventures, and Chopper's adventures. And for some reason, I wouldn't feel so alone. I feel, or felt, and still feel connected to these characters one way or another, regardless of if they are real or not. They are entirely fictional. Luffy sadly doesn't exist in the real world, right? We are not in the Grand Line. We're not in the New World. We're in planet Earth. That's not a bad thing. I just want to, you know, kind of made the conjecture that, you know, manga is fictional. These are all fictional characters and fictional stories. But they certainly, regardless of how fictional they can be and how mysterious they can be, they work in very curious ways. And I'm not exactly sure how this all works out, but I can definitely tell you that if you were to watch One Piece and really get into it, right, I think you wouldn't feel as alone or as lonely, because of how the character dynamics, the crew dynamics, and how the crew dynamics work. And once again, these characters are all fictional, but they feel like a real family. They feel like a genuine group of friends. Maybe you are somebody who likes reading a lot, and maybe you lean towards archaeology or history, and you identify with Robin. And regardless of how much of a Robin character you are, you're gonna see that you're surrounded by at least 9 to 10 characters all the time who are supporting you, who are cheering you on, and who are accompanying you throughout your life and your adventure. And that's something that One Piece has unique of its own. Like I said, I don't think there's another anime or another manga or another story that works or behaves in the same way that One Piece does, and has this crew slash family slash friendship system that as a lonely person you feel accompanied by or accompanied with. And that's just so beautiful and so remarkable. And I kind of wanted to talk about that. If you do feel lonely, or if you do feel alone, give One Piece a shot, and you will realize soon enough that these characters are also accompanying you, regardless of how fictional they can be. And with that being said, I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you're in your happy and safe place. And I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Peace.